G'day, hope we're all doing well. Another beautiful day out here in Western Queensland. Hey, we got a long weekend this weekend, so I'm just doing a bit round the block here and keeping busy. So I hope we all enjoyed our long weekend, and to anyone who had to work through, totally understand. Cost of living nowadays, price of everything, just keep our head above the water. It's hard, so yeah, respect, appreciate yous, and yeah, I hope you get a bit of a break soon. And bloody dog rubbing up against anything. Hey, listen, I just wanted to have a yarn this morning. As you might be able to see behind me, I've got me block out here. Goes all the way out. It's as dry as a chip. It is brown, and it is getting bad. Apparently, out here in Western Queensland, we've been it's been declared a drought. We haven't had decent rain for about 5 months, and you can see getting around all the crops, all the farmers around here. We definitely needed some rain, especially coming into winter. This is meant to be our time when we do get a bit of rain, and we didn't. So, yeah, me fellow farmers, hang in there. You know what to do. Keep tough, keep positive, and hope for the best. Last year, we had good rain, and the farmers were able to put 2 crops in. This year, we didn't get any rain. I don't think they put a crop in. I could be mistaken, but I haven't seen nothing, which is pretty disheartening, especially the way the fuel is and all this and that nowadays. I want my farmers to be as less stressed as they can, and having no rain doesn't help at all. Anyway, so what got me thinking this morning was, you know, water. How do we get water if it ain't going to rain? You know, water-wise, how are we going to secure some water out here? I know that there's been a few schemes over the, let's say, 100 years out here in the bush to generate water. I want to just have a yarn today about one it's called the Bradfield Scheme, and I've known about this for a few years. And so I just wanted to have a bit of a yarn this morning and just tell you a little bit about this Bradfield Scheme that's meant to take water from up north in Queensland and drought-proof inland Queensland and down into New South Wales. So the original route was made in 1938. Dr. John Bradfield proposed building a 120-metre high dam at Hell's Gate on the Burdekin River to catch coastal river water from Tully, Herbert and the Burdekin and divert it through a 144-kilometre tunnel westward across the Great Dividing Range into the Thompson River and eventually down into Lake Eyre. Current studies by the CSIRO have mapped out a modern variant focusing on diverting water to the Flinders River and to the Northern Murray-Darling Basin. The time to complete this project, modern version of a project, would likely take anywhere from 10 to 15 years to complete, including environmental approvals, planning and construction. Approvals for planning will take 5 to 7 years. Construction would be 5 to 10 years, with some estimates suggesting up to 15 years for a full completion. So, hey, listen here, nation building stuff takes time, and it's going to generate a lot of work, and it will pay off over time. A modern day estimate calculated by the CSIRO, anywhere between 10 and 15 billion to complete this scheme. I said this is a nation building project that will generate a lot of work for a few years, up to 15 years. So, you know, after that time, completion, it's going to generate a lot of work for my agricultural businesses. It's going to generate a lot of work for farmers, and it's going to bring back to life rural Australia, especially the top half of Australia around here, even further up north, out west and down south. I know there's another scheme like this. I forget the name of the bloody thing, but it's down near Grafton as well, around the mighty McLaren's River. There's another scheme that will boost it and take it further south again. So this is all what we need. This is going to open up job security. This is going to open up people to be able to come and move out to the bush to take off the pressure from people living in the city. This is what, back in the day, this is what people like the Bradfield and even like Slim Dusty used to sing about songs like this when he'd travel around. You know what I mean? This is what my fellow Australians used to actually think and talk about and want to build back in the day. But nowadays, it's not like it. I'll just give a bit of rundown about Bradfield himself and where he was born, educated. Early life and education, born in Sandgate, Queensland in 1867. Bradfield won a scholarship to Ipswich Grammar School, where he was a dux. He attended the University of Sydney, graduating with a Bachelor of Engineering in 1889, winning the University Medal, Career and vision. After a brief stint with Queensland Railways, he moved to New South Wales Public Works, where he worked in 1891 to 1933. He was appointed Chief Engineer of the Metropolitan Railway construction in 1913, developing a vision to electrify Sydney's suburban railways and connect the city via the Harbour Bridge. Bradfield Scheme, designed in 1938 by a Queensland-born engineer, Dr. John Bradfield, who also designed the Sydney Harbour Bridge and the Story Bridge, proposed diverting water from North Queensland's coastal rivers west across the Great Dividing Range to irrigate an arid inland. Australia was a nation defined by its vast, harsh interior, a land of mass potential often restricted by travel and by the scarcity of water. During this time, one of Australia's greatest engineers, Bradfield, looked west. Tropical rivers of North Queensland flowing directly into the sea, and saw not just floods, but a wasted opportunity. Dr. Bradfield, the visionary behind the Sydney Harbour Bridge and Brisbane's Story Bridge, proposed a mass nation-building project that came to be known as the Bradfield Scheme. His idea was bold and arguably ahead of his time. He proposed to build a series of dams and tunnels to harness the upper reaches of the Tully, Herbert and Burdekin rivers, turning them inland across the Great Dividing Range. By doing so, he intended to turn the arid interior of Queensland into a bustling agricultural hub, transforming dry, black soil country into lush farmland. Bradfield's vision was about securing the nation's food security, expanding regional economic opportunities. While the scheme has been studied, debated, and often criticised for its immense engineering challenges and ecological impacts, it remains a testament to Australia's ingenuity and the desire to engineer a better future. Even today, variations of his original 1938 plan are discussed to alleviate drought and supply water to inland agricultural businesses. Dr. Bradfield was a visionarist, looked at a dry continent and dreamt of water. He offered us a vision of a vibrant inland, and it is that spirit of mass ambition, the willingness to dream big, that we remember today. That's just a bit about Bradfield himself and about the Bradfield Scheme out here in Queensland that can be helping rural Australia. My fellow farmers, this is what brought this idea to my forefront about having a drought out here. If we had the Bradfield Scheme, we could possibly not be in a drought. All right, my fellow farmers and my irrigators could be having the water they need to run their businesses. You know, we hear Bob Catter talking about it. We hear Pauline Hanson talking about it over the years. We've only just seen Chrissy Bowen, the Climate Minister for Australia out here in the Western Downs. You know, how come we aren't out here doing the Bradfield Scheme, mate? It's already been planned. It's already been designed. Half the work's done. Just got to outlay the money, bring up a few businesses. You know, let's get it going, mate. That's what we need out here in the bush. Just wanted to have a quick chat about the Iran-USA issue. As we all know, the Strait of Hormuz is still carrying on, and which is still affecting our country. You know, if we didn't rely on foreign issues, we could have our own fuel, our own fertilizer, urea, diesel. We wouldn't be so reliant on these foreign issues. Iran has reached a point of surrender regarding its nuclear program, driven by extreme pressure. Tehran is offering to heavily dilute its existing enrichment uranium stockpile and surrender major aspects of its nuclear capabilities. This has been a significant turnaround in the ongoing standoff between Iran and the USA. The shift is due to intense economic and military pressure, making it untenable for the Iranian regime to continue its previous course of action, working with BRICS, carrying on like they have been. Hey, apparently the Starlink, Elon Musk's Starlink, operates 24 hours surveillance around Iran, and they offer more intense surveillance around their nuclear zones. How's that? So as soon as a rat runs out, fucking hell, the Starlink straight onto it, sending it straight to the USA-Israel communication. You can't even fart without the USA and Israel's Starlink picking that up. How crazy is that? So the last thing here, the Japan Prime Minister is coming to Australia this week to talk energy and production. But I don't think they're going to be talking about wind farms and solar farms, green renewable energy scams, are they? No, we're going to be talking about sending this great Australian LNG gas over to Japan, because we need that. We need to trade gas for diesel, jet fuel, oils, urea, fertilizer, everything you name to keep a country functioning and running like a good society should. We need to import all that. So what do you need? You need a trade. You need to trade a commodity for another one. And you can't be trading bottle up air from the wind farm and trade it to Japan, can you, for diesel? No, you actually need to trade a mineral. So what's our mineral that we're giving them? We're giving them gas. And here we had these lobbyists down in Canberra wanting to shut down our gas industry. They wanted to tax these big companies who pay $22 billion a year already in tax and royalties. They wanted them to pay more. Yeah, no, they're not going to do that. They're either going to lay off workers, they're going to pass the cost on to the consumer, or they're going to start looking to produce gas in other countries where they don't have to give their hard-earned bloody profit to the government, or they're not going to have to keep jumping through hurdles and red tape just to expand their lands to keep the gas coming in. They're going to go to countries where they won't have the kickbacks and the red tape. It's good to see Japan over here. It gives me a bit of confidence that we still are keeping our Western traditions. We still are for Pax Americana and Pax Silica, for our Western nations to stand together and work with each other. So that does give me a bit of confidence seeing Japan's Prime Minister coming over here. And Albo was just over in Japan not long ago. And Penny Wong's flying around China. I don't know why she's over there. That's good to see, but we're still for Australia First policies. And I wish that we were getting around here with Chrissy Boy. I wish he would have picked me up and we would have went out and had a look at some wind farms and solar farms that we want to shut down, and we want to start finding some land to put up coal-fired power plant. I wish that he did that. I wish that he went out and seen David Christoffel. He was only out in the Taroom oil shelf not long ago either, mate. I wish he came out here and looked at some oil refineries. But no, you didn't. So why on earth are we shutting down all our industries that help us barter with other nations so we can keep being a prosperous nation? Why have we been shutting them down over the last 10 or 15 years? These foreign leaders come over here and the first thing that our politicians and lobbyists want to barter off are all the industries that you've been shutting down for the last 10 or 15 years. All these so-called fossil fuel industries. But you're bartering with our gas. You want us to trade more gas. You want us to expand the gas lands. You're trading with our coal. You want us to keep digging out coal from the ground and keep trading it. You're trading our iron ore. You want us to keep digging out the iron ore industry, and you want us to keep trading in all these so-called fossil fuel industries, even our agricultural industry. How do you think they farm it? They use massive amounts of diesel, fertilizer and urea. But you're all shutting down and taking the piss out of these great industries in our country. But it's the first thing that you rely on to get us out of the shit. I don't get it. I don't get it. Make it make sense for me, please. Because you've got all these people in Canberra wanting to shut down the fossil fuel industry. You got the Australian Institute saying end fossil fuels. You got Punters Politics saying he's voting Labor and he wants to shut down the gas industry. And you've got David Pocock, he's a teal, and he wants to shut down this fossil fuel industry as well. What the hell is going on here? Yeah, just the last thing here with our great Western nations and our allies. They're still up at the top in the Philippines there. They're there till the 8th of May. They've been there for 2 weeks. I haven't heard much from any other social media influencer. I haven't heard much from the media about how our great militaries, 18,000 of them, are working together. They're working together with new technologies. They're looking at the threat in the Indo-Pacific, and they are working well together. Yeah, that's another good thing that I like to see. Our Western nations, even though you won't hear it from the mainstream media, you got to do a bit of digging and diving. But it's good to see that Australia is still keeping our relationship with our Western allies, even though a lot of people were only, oh, boo Israel, oh, boo USA, boo Trump, orange man bad. That's what you all like to pick and choose from what the mainstream media say. But if it goes against your agenda, this is what yous are about. But anyway, that's what happens. Hey, listen, everyone's asking about how the event went out in the Western Downs for the One Nation meeting in the Maranoa. It went bloody perfect. There were a lot of people there. Meeting went well for Australia First policies only, especially out in the bush. And yeah, trust me on that. So you'll hear more in the future. But hey, listen, yous have a great rest of the day. Appreciate your support. Keep liking and sharing me stuff. I appreciate it. And yous take care, eh, hooroo.